All right, so this is episode 59 of the Ask Zofie podcast. And as ever, I extend a great big warm, extra warm today because it's really hot here in the UK. Welcome to you. And by the way, if you've been listening to me, if you've been with me from the start, please, I'd love you to let me know, like DM me on Instagram. Do you want me an email or something? Or if you're watching this on YouTube, drop me a comment. I would love to hear that and to say hi and thank you for joining along, because it must be, I don't know, what are we now, July? A bit over a year, maybe, that I've been doing this. Obviously, it's 52 weeks in a year and I'm on 59. So yeah, over a year. And if you're newer, then welcome. But anyway, great big warm welcome. Before I get into it, I'm talking more things mindset today, which I'm continuing to do on Instagram and here on the podcast all throughout July. But before I get into talking about what I want to talk about today, I'm going to do what is now customary. Whenever I do this podcast or live, I'm going to start by picking a page for you. And what I do when I do this is just like when you would with a deck of oracle cards or tarot cards or whatever. I just kind of tune in and intend that whatever I pick is going to be pertinent for you, the person watching or listening. Okay, let's see what comes up. It's a really simple, powerful one. I'm going to read both pages, actually. The first is, and you'll know if you've got love notes that this is a theme throughout the book, let me love you. Really simple, incredibly profound message from whatever you think of it as, God, the universe, your higher self, your soul, your true essence. Let me love you. Come home, come home, come home. And when it says that, come home, what it means is not going anywhere. It really speaks to coming home to yourself, to your true essence, that love that is at the core of you, that is who you are deep down. And it's a beautiful callback to that and reminder that there's more to you than meets the eye. There's more to you than just your body, flesh, blood and bones and so on. And it's a reminder to come home to that. All right, I'm really excited to be sharing more on mindset. As I said a moment ago, I've got a question I'm going to answer, and then something that when I heard the person say this, it resonated incredibly deeply with me. There's a bunch of things that I've heard through my time on my journey where they've just kind of hit me. Some of you will know, because I talk about this all the time, Eckhart Tolle's quote, what you accept, you go beyond. When I heard him say that, it was in one of his meditations, I literally sat bolt upright and was like, holy bejesus, what? And it's just stayed with me. There's certain things that just hit me in this way because I think I feel the power of them and I adore sharing them because of their capacity to help you. And you know, I say this probably every week. That's my thing in life. I love to be helpful, to uplift, to inspire, to guide, to use all my stuff to help you not have to go through the same stuff, or just take the edge off at least, hopefully. All right, so before I get into it, kind of behind the scenes and sharing on something that I'm doing at the moment, also work-wise. Now, some of you will know this. I kind of started my own, what you might think of as experiment with the divine, just probably over a year ago now. I forget the dates. And I've been on this path of mine from, the book I'm writing at the moment is called Living in Faith. I always have to check myself and make sure I'm not saying living in fear, like I said before. And it's 21 practices to take you from fear to faith. That's a journey that I've made, and I definitely want to, I feel this calling from my soul to help anybody else on the planet that I'm able to do the same, to go from living in that place of worry, anxiety, stress, fear, to being tethered to this unwavering source of faith. So I've been on this journey, as I said, for a long time. But just over a year ago, I decided to kind of amp it up, really up level, really step into it in a more powerful manner and just start living, really putting my money where my mouth is in terms of, okay, well, seeing as I believe that my prayers have already been answered, that the universe is friendly, that I can be or do or have anything, all of these quotes that I use a lot and so do others. How am I going to sort of show the universe in terms of my actions that I really do have faith, that I really do believe in this? And so what I did, some of you will know, was I pretty much quit one-to-ones. I do a small handful of one-to-one work, but that was my main source of income for many years. And start this podcast. So it must have been around that time, maybe June-ish last year, something like that. Start this podcast because I also felt this calling from my soul to reach more people. And obviously when you're working one-to-one, there's only so much you can do. I have a lot with the kids and the house and so on to run that. And being a projector in human design, I have ebbs and flows in my energy. So I can't just, see 20, 30 people in a week. And even if you can, is a relatively small number. Anyway, I really stepped into this experiment with the divine, where it was like, okay, put your money where your mouth is and keep taking leaps of faith when it comes to this stuff. And so I cut my income and I also put my outgoings up because I leveraged debt to do some stuff to the house and also invest further in my work in this business. So from a purely human level, it's nuts, right? Why would you cut your income and put your outgoings up? But to me, having faith, this made sense. This is analogous to stepping out, like that scene, which I forget the name of, in Indiana Jones, where he can't see that there's a bridge to step onto. So he it looks like, for all intents and purposes, he's just going to step out into thin air and then fall to his death or severely injured or whatever. But he steps out in faith and then the bridge is there. He just couldn't see it beneath his feet. So this was me doing that in my life, on my life. And anyway, this is just over a year ago. And so financially, things have probably been getting more challenging over that time because just a longer period of time of not having the earnings coming in. Anyway, long story short, I totally am a proponent, you all know, of never, ever, 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 ever giving up. It doesn't mean you don't pivot, you don't rest, you don't change your tack and so on and so forth, but never giving up in terms of the faith and the understanding that your dreams are your destiny. What you seek seeks you, as Rumi said, and if it's there in your heart, it is destined for you. It's been put there lovingly by you, by your soul, by your higher self, for a reason, to call you towards it as it is also heading towards you. And so the last couple of months, things have become challenging financially for me. And so you will know that I was really focused on manifesting romantic love into my life. I'm doing that thing where I'm checking that I'm recording. Yes, I am. Focused on manifesting romantic love into my life. Hi, Daniel, who will be watching or listening. Obviously, he is that romantic love. That is, I'm very thankful, thankfully can say he is in my physical experience now. It was non-physical for a long time, and that was a long journey for me, some of you will know, but so worth it. And it's always the case, when you get there and you really manifest the thing that you desire, you understand the purpose of the journey and the different pieces along the way. So my current focus is money, finances, wealth. Anyway, I'm really going around the houses with this, but because I've been so focused here, I have had some awesome realizations recently. And of course, I know it's obvious that money is a huge block for so many of us. I think money how we feel about our bodies, and romantic love are maybe three of the biggest ones. They're certainly three of the heavy hitters when it comes to these unhelpful beliefs and sort of negativity in the mass consciousness that we have. But it hit me with greater clarity just how much of a big block this is, and how much I want to work through it myself, and help other people with this, because that feels so key to me. I want to help. This is a big deal for so many. So of course I want to go there, and the way that I think of it is to lay the love of the divine upon this issue, because of course when you do that, it shifts everything. And so I have written and recorded a new meditation. If you're in my membership, hopefully you've seen it, you've listened to it, all on how to magnetize money. Now, also, anyone who's in my membership, I'm doing a workshop on the 2nd of August at 8 p.m. UK time. You will have a free place at that workshop, which is, it's going to be a masterclass, actually all on money mindset. And I'm going to be sharing these shifts that I've had, these realizations, this sort of ideas that have come through that I know are going to really be the final piece in the puzzle for me. And they have the potential to help so many people. Before Daniel manifested into my physical experience, I knew that it was imminent. I knew that his arrival was nigh, and I knew it wouldn't be long, because of all the signs, because of how I felt energetically, because of the shifts. And it's the same for me now in terms of money. On a purely physical level, my friend's husband sat with me on Friday and went through things, and I think he's probably losing sleep over my financial situation. And most bank managers would, be getting hot sweats, whatever it is, be sweating if they looked at what's going on in terms of my finances. But I know better than that. I know that energy precedes what happens in the physical, and my energy is in this amazing place. And I've said this before a bunch of times, that more than 99% of every atom is empty space. Everything is made of atoms. And so this is the energy component. The energy component is massive. My task now, same as anyone wanting to manifest anything, and I'm teaching this in Manifesting Miracles, is you want to feel the feels of what you want. So for me, that is money, wealth, abundance, financial freedom, being able to take my kids on holiday, having a sense of, if I want that, I can have it, all these lovely things. What does that feel like? It feels blissful. I feel loved by life itself. It feels very relaxing. And then the second part of the equation is I'm not going to swear on this podcast because I don't, but don't F it up. Okay. And that means manage the unhelpful beliefs. Don't be looking at what is and saying, well, this is crap, it's not working, because then you block it. So it's those two things, and that's what I'm working on. But anyway, this is my roundabout, going around the houses way of saying, if you have challenges with this, please join my membership. Also, throughout July, when you join, I'm giving you a free mini one-to-one with me. So a 20 or 30 minute session. We can go through whatever you want. It's not about upselling. I don't want one-to-one clients. It's about me giving my time to you and helping you and supporting you. So if you're thinking about joining membership, do it now. There will never be a better time. You can go in and listen to that money meditation. You can join the workshop. I cannot tell you how excited I am about this, because I can feel the transformative power of it. So those of you that are in the membership, if you've got money challenges, amazing, listen to the meditation, come to the masterclass. If you are not in the membership, please join. I will help you anyway, as much as I can, on this podcast, on Instagram, on whatever, but I can extra help you if you are in my membership. You just can't, by the way, use a coupon to sign up and get the access to the one-to-one. So I'll leave the link for that in the show notes. And that's my kind of behind the scenes in terms of what's going on with me, and a little teensy bit more on that because it's helpful. That's really what I'm focusing on at the moment, is not to be caught up in sort of hypnotized by what's in my current situation, because I know my current situation is has come about, same as all of us, on the back of previous thoughts and actions. And it's my divine compost. So don't let your current reality distract you from manifesting your desired reality. Don't let your current reality distract you from manifesting your desired reality. That is powerful as, oh, okay, eventually. How long am I in? I can't even see how long I've been recording. That's a long introduction. Let me get to my question today. A lovely buddy of mine, actually, Aga, who is from Poland. Yeah, I'm sure she's from where my granddad hails from, Poland. Although I'm doubting myself, but is she German? Aga, I think Aga's Polish. Oh my goodness. Anyway, she lives in the States. She's one of my Insta buddies, and she asked this question on my Instagram. She was having some challenges with her business, and she asked a great question, which was basically, how can I tell if it's an issue with my business or if it's a mindset thing? Now, some of you listening, you might be listening and thinking, well, I don't have a business. What's this got to do with me, Zofie? But you can relate this to anything, okay? Which is why I wanted to answer this question, because it's not just about if you've got a business. It could be, how can I tell if I'm in the wrong relationship, or it's just my mindset, or if I'm in the wrong job, or, fill in the blank. And this is what I want to say to this. Always, always, always focus on your mindset first, right? If I'm tired, for example, I know as soon as I can, as soon as it's viable, just at least get a nap or catch up, because everything, imagine, we say we have rose tinted spectacles. You can also have like crap tinted spectacles. And when you're tired or you're stressed or you're out of alignment, you're going to be wearing those crap tinted spectacles, just like you're driving along in a car and your windscreen is really dirty, like Daniel's normally is. I don't know how he drives like it. As soon as I get in his car, I'm like, clean your windscreen. It's disgusting. How can you not see that? He's somehow used to it. Anyway, Daniel, yeah, clean your windscreen, by the way. So is windshield, is that more an American thing and windscreen British? I don't know. There's so many things I don't know today. Where's Aga from? Who says windshield? Does it matter? Okay, but it's like driving along and your windscreen / windshield is like Daniel's. And so you think, oh my God, it's all like crappy out there. It's not. Just squirt the things, whatever they're called, and wipe it off. And this is analogous to get the sleep, which I always try and do if I notice that I'm tired, because I know it's just no point. It's just going to be like dragging yourself through, and life is not going to be fun until you get some rest, realign, get your mindset back in check. So always, if you're like, I don't know if it's the job or my mindset, I don't know if it's the guy or my mindset, I don't know if I hate my body or it's my mindset, sort your mindset out first. This is key. I sometimes use the analogy of like, you're at the bottom of the mountain and you want to know what the view's like. So that you ask other people, what's it like up there? What's the view like? And you wonder about it. And then maybe you try and imagine it. Obviously, if you walk up to the top of the mountain, you can see the view for yourself. This is what happens when you get back into the right mindset. I want to give a few examples of this. Years ago, I worked with a lady who was a hairdresser. And this is me being a bit dim, nothing new. But anyway, she was telling me in like early on, session 1 or 2 or something, that she really didn't like her job. It was really tiring her out. She's bored of it, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, okay. And didn't dwell on it too much. Anyway, she came back the next session. She'd been listening to the meditations that I give everyone to listen to when I was doing one-to-one work and doing her kind of mindset stuff. She came back next week. It works great. And I was like, what? And it caught me off guard. It shouldn't have done, because I should have known better. Should have, would have, could have. But she wasn't in a great headspace. So work was sucky. She got herself back in a decent headspace. And she felt totally differently about it. This obviously isn't to say that that's always going to happen, because you could be like with me in my marriage. I was getting happier and happier in spite of that relationship not being healthy. And so when I was in alignment, I could see that, and that can happen, but you can't accurately or clearly or with any sense of clarity discern which is which is it the man or is it my mindset, is it the business or is it my mindset, unless and until you get your mindset sorted. So always do this first. So that was a really cool example with the hairdresser. It also happened recently with my daughter. If you've listened to all my podcasts, you will know that she was diagnosed with scoliosis probably a couple of months back, and she's had a brace fitted. And she's doing so well with this. I'm so thankful and so proud of her. The other night, however, I forget when it was, probably when she just got back from her dad's, and she's normally tired then, she was teary at bedtime about it. And I said to her, sweetie, you're just tired. Don't take your thoughts seriously now. Have a good night's sleep and let's think about it tomorrow. And yeah, lo and behold, the next day, it was not an issue. And this is great with kids. They are so much more in the moment, because until like, I think it's 23, 24, our brains aren't fully formed. So they're much more in and out of the prefrontal cortex, much more in the now, which is why if you've got a child or children, you will have seen this. They will be losing it one minute, and then someone offers them an ice cream, and the next minute they're all of a sudden the high on life, and you're like, you must be insane. They're not. Actually, they do much better than us because they drop things more quickly than we do. So anyway, that's an aside. But she was tired, therefore the brace was an issue. And this also happened to me in COVID at one point. I really didn't get stressed about COVID. I didn't buy any extra loo rolls. I wasn't walking around the supermarket panicking that people were going to cough on me and I was going to drop down dead. I really had this sense that obviously this is an unwanted situation and there are lots of negative, unwanted ramifications, sure, but my logic told me, A, panicking never helps, and B, there is no reason for me to worry, because most likely, worst case, I get it, I'm going to be ill, maybe quite ill, but that's about as bad as it's going to get. But there was a point, and I forget the details, but I remember being a little bit tense about it, and I was like, I don't think it's COVID. I think it's me. I think I'm just a bit out of sorts. And I knew enough to know that that was most likely the case. And yeah, same as with Yara, same as with my client years ago, I got myself back in alignment, and whatever it was, particularly, related to COVID that bothered me wasn't bothering me anymore. There's something in psychology, just getting a flashback, did I talk about this last week? I've talked about it recently somewhere, called displacement. And what that means is, if you are someone who is angry, if you are an angry person, and we all either are this person or know someone or someone's who are this person, there will be lots of triggers in your life, things that quote unquote make you angry. Guess what? It's not that thing. It's that trigger is coming up to allow you to release that anger. And unless and until you do manage that, you basically practice mindfulness and allow the anger to continue to diminish and dissipate and ultimately all but disappear, you will keep thinking that the world is full of annoying people. For example, there was a person in my life who is this angry person, and so many triggers. One of them, for example, which is probably relatively common, but I'd be in a major city with this person, like New York, okay, it's busy, there are tourists, there are going to be people who don't know where they're going, and this person would get really peed off if somebody was in his way. And it's like, you don't go to New York if you don't like people ambling about. Ambling about, is that right? You know what I mean? Hopefully you do, because I clearly don't. And also, same person would get really triggered by me not wanting to try new food. I was really fussy as a kid. I'm not like that now. I eat, I A, live for food, but B, eat most things, but I don't want to try stuff until I'm ready. It's just how I am. And this person would get really angry about that. Obviously, that's not a reason to get angry, but it is a trigger for existing anger. Okay, and this is massive, so life-changing, so transformative to get to understand the difference. But always work on the inside first, work on the mindset first, and then come at the situation. Or I also said I answered this on Instagram in a grid post, and I said another cool thing that's just come back to me to do is to do what I call, once you've got back into the best headspace, do a pro and pro list. Most of us do a pro and con list. This can just add to the confusion often. But if you write like say for example, it's should I stay in my relationship or should I go? Write a pro and a pro list. Pros for staying, pros for going. The mind would be like, well, if I do this, I'm just going to stay even though I'm not supposed to or whatever. This doesn't happen. The pro and pro list helps to get you into intellectual control, your prefrontal cortex in control, the solution focused part of your brain, which actually counterintuitively will help to give you clarity. It's a really, really cool, feels weird, but like a lot of the things that I espouse, but it's very effective thing to do. Right. I now want to share something, the thing that I mentioned earlier that really resonated with me. I adore a teacher called Byron Katie. I saw her in London probably like 10 years ago. And she's one of the few people that I personally see sort of in this world, like it's spiritual teachers and so on, who I would describe as the real deal. Like Eckhart Tolle, I was lucky enough to see him at the Royal Albert Hall with my friend Siobhan. Hey Siobhan, she'll probably be listening in Italy on her holiday. Her boyfriend is Italian, and his Italian mum is making her homemade lasagna. I'm so jealous about this. I'm putting that on my manifestation list. Homemade Italian lasagna. Just thinking, Daniel's brother's girlfriend is Italian. I wonder if I could somehow manifest it via her. Just putting that out there, Daniel. Daniel, you did say to me yesterday you'd do anything for me, so can you rustle me up a homemade Italian lasagna, please? Okay, how did I get to that? Yeah, Siobhan. Yeah, saw Eckhart Tolle. That was amazing. But anyway, Byron Katie is one of the people that, for me, I can just feel her energy. It's pure. She's the real deal. And it was in COVID, actually. I was decorating my son's bedroom. It's not one of my fortes, but anyway, I was in there decorating, you know, in those months where we didn't have a whole heap to do. Fine by me, because I don't do that much anyway. But nonetheless, I was in cleaning, decorating mode, like so many of us were. And I listened to a lot of Byron Katie at that time. And if you don't know her, by the way, check her out. Check out her process called The Work. It is freaking awesome. But she said something along the lines of, when I don't get what I want, when things don't seem to go my way, immediately I say, there must be something better. There must be something better. She said, because otherwise, the alternative is that I believe that God is a masochist. And I just don't believe that. Oh my God, like how freaking powerful is that too? It reminds me of the mantra I used for a while, which is, I refuse to be disappointed. No matter what happens. Totally lines up with this. And it also reminds me of one of my favorite quotes, which I can't remember word for word, but it's an Einstein quote. And he said, the most important decision you will make is whether or not you believe the universe is friendly. It all ties in with what I've been talking about, what I talked about at the start. So if you believe that the universe has your back, that the universe is friendly, that God, whatever you want to think of it as, it loves you, then of course there's something better, because it doesn't make sense otherwise. So imagine acquiring or even leaning into this mindset as soon as something sucky happens. Again, it smacks of that Jocko idea that I espouse and I speak to all the time, where he just says, good, as soon as something unwanted happens. If I think about that relative to my financial situation, I was talking about it with Daniel the other day. I said, I don't really like looking at finances, looking at percentages and figures and spreadsheets. It's not my vibe. But if I want to be in a situation where I'm wealthy, really, I'm going to need to be able to manage that wealth. So life is helping me, guiding me through. Like when I sat down with Paul on Friday, I looked at the interest rates and all these different things that I'd never looked at. And I know more about gas and electric cost per kilowatt than I ever thought I would. It feels really good and it's really helpful. So it's seeing life's not just doing a massive crap on you when things quote unquote go wrong. It's your soul guiding you through. When things aren't working, it's only ever because either you're out of alignment, your mindset's off, okay, so fix this, okay, work on this, or your soul is guiding you through this divine compass to get you to something that you deeply desire. It's never life hating on you. This just isn't the way that it works. And that what Byron Katie said really speaks to this same idea. As soon as you don't get what you want, in the moment you don't get what you want, you instantaneously go to, there must be something better. Imagine all the tears you could save. And look, again, it is fine to have moments. I sure have moments where I just like have a cry or let it out, or just go distract yourself with something fun because you can't deal with that right now. Of course, it's part and parcel of being human, of the human experience. But the less you can do that, the better. The quicker you can, like Abraham Hicks say, take the bounce. So the unwanted happens, and we tend to get so focused on that we stop ourselves from allowing in the wanted that it's there to produce. So the quicker you can take the bounce, the less time you spend in that sucky stuff that is only there, that its purpose is to help you to get to the wanted. It's like you're waiting at a junction and you're looking down and people are trying to let you out, but you can't see because you're not looking up. If you're not looking up, in other words, if you're not expecting things to go well and leaning into this positive attitude and have this positive expectation, you're going to miss the stuff that life is giving you, the nudges and the winks and the next step along the path to your desires. And then it really sucks because you have this unwanted situation and you're not benefiting from it either. Whereas when you can see that it all is divinely ordered and has a divine purpose, and there's, you know, I say this all the time, there's, you don't need the pain for the purpose, but there's invariably always purpose born of, or the potential of it to be born of, the pain. And so get that, like, enjoy the benefits. Make sure that you're getting to that place where you actually get to enjoy the fruits of your labor, and the labor being the unwanted stuff. All right, so yeah, as soon as something unwanted happens, there must be something better. Oh, how cool is that? Right, my love, I really hope this has been helpful for you. And by the way, I would love you to drop me a DM or just post on Instagram or wherever you post on social if you've listened to this, and just share that you've listened. It really warms my heart, and I super appreciate when you do that. It feels a little bit more like there's a two-way conversation versus just me chatting away. Yes, that would be really awesome if you would do that. I'll be back next week. I'm thinking, by the way, that I might pause for August to allow me to focus on my writing and spend a bit of time with Yara and Vincent, my kids. I'm not sure yet, but I will let you know. I'm in two minds, or three minds maybe. Do I pause? Do I batch a load of content and put them out in August? Or do I just keep going? I don't know. If you've got any thoughts on that, then let me know. If you're like, I'm not going to listen in August anyway, Zofie, so don't bother. Cool. If you're like, oh my God, I can't possibly be without you, Zofie. How would I live without our Zofie for a whole month? Then let me know. And also, I posted on my Insta story yesterday, should I change the name of Love Notes from God to just Love Notes? Because I've been toying with this idea for a while. And most of you, vast majority, said change it. But any thoughts on that, please let me know, because that would be really, really helpful, because I might change it. And certainly for the second volume, which is already written, but I'm not releasing it yet, would be massively helpful to get your input on that. So thanks for listening or watching. I'll be back next week, more focused on mindset. If you've got any questions about the membership thing, by the way, please message me. I'm really happy to help, and I would love for you to benefit from it, full stop, but particularly from that money meditation that I've just made, and also the upcoming masterclass on August 2nd. Okay, lots of love. I will be back next week. Bye for now.